Today we are going to talk about writing good essays. This content is from clarityenglish.com. This is their email. A very good material they have made, and all thanks and regard to them. So let us start. This is a simple array formation. What is your favorite place for a holiday? Why? Now, if you want to write an essay, you have to plan first. Means first of all, you have to have an introduction. Means what is your favorite place? You have to name the place and why it is so. Then something about the weather, when to go. You can describe hot weather or any other weather of your favorite place. Then about food. I mean, what are the places where you can feed? Means restaurant types. Describe typical Thai food because this gentleman Brian is going to talk about Patong Beach, that is in Phuket, Thailand, and what activities he loves or he enjoys: shopping, water sports, and especially what to do in the evening. And then to conclude means lots to do, but can also relax. It's a pretty cool place. So let us see what a good essay is all about. And this is when I need a holiday, I go to Patong Beach on the island of Phuket in Thailand. It's just a short flight, and I can arrive at the hotel only hours after walking out of my front door. It is best to go between November and February because this is when it is warmest and humidity is low. You do not get that comfortable damp feeling on your skin, so you can really enjoy the heat of the sun. The skies are clear and there is cool breeze. There is very little rain at this time. Patong is a great place to eat and drink, although some of the restaurants are 5 stars. The prices are quite reasonable. The smaller local restaurants also serve good Thai food. First, you can have a savory snack, then rice and vegetable or fish, and finally some fruit. As Phuket is a tourist island, there are lots of activities. The shopping is fantastic. The local stores sell clothes, souvenirs, and jewelry. There are also activities for you to enjoy on the beach, such as swimming, water skiing, sunbathing. It is not too expensive to take a boat trip to another island. In the evening, you can see genuine Thai boxing and go dancing at one of the night clubs. I like Phuket because although there is a lot to do, it is also a good place to relax. So when I need a holiday, it is a great place to just lie back, read a book, and enjoy the sun and sea. Now we have a second essay. Describe the experience of meeting a famous person. So this is written by Sophie. Again, we have to plan first. First is introduction. First, set the scene that where I was, why, how I felt. This is what she's going to write. Then saw Sam Smith. First of all, who is he? What does he look like? What was he doing? And then what happened? Walked over, asked for a photo or an autograph. Then about Sam's personality, kind, also took photo with other people. And finally, what she felt, that means how I felt, listened to his music all the way home. Now let us read what she has written and a good essay. It was a very long journey from my grandmother's house in England back home to New Zealand. I was really tired when I got off the plane and walked slowly to the baggage hall to get my suitcase. I sat down on a bench and waited for the bags to arrive. I was really bored. I did not know what I was about to have the most exciting experience of my life. When I looked to my left, I recognized a singer called Sam Smith from pictures I had seen in magazines and on the internet. He's from England and very famous for his songs. I was standing quite far away from him, but I could see he was tall, had curly brown hairs, and was wearing a huge pair of black sunglasses. His hands were holding firmly onto his luggage trolley, and he kept his head down to keep himself from being recognized. After I saw him, I pushed my trolley in his direction. When I was next to him, I asked if I could take a photo with him. He smiled and said yes. After we took a photo, I thanked him and told him to have a good concert. He said thank you as I walked off. I did not want to bother him anymore. Sam was very kind to me, and when I asked to take a photo with him, he seemed to be tired from a long flight, like me, but he smiled, and later on I saw him take photos with other fans as well. I was happy to find out that he was a good personality, as some websites said he was not a nice person. After meeting Sam, I felt really pleased. I had taken a nice photo with him, and it was fun to tell my family and friends that I met him. I caught a taxi outside the airport and listened to his music all the way home. Now we have an essay on describe a hot day in your country to a visitor from overseas. Again, by Ellie, this is what you have to plan, you have to introduce, means hot day in England, very special. Feeling is warm sun, cool breeze. Sight is the sky, what people are wearing, what they do. Sound is chatting, music bowls on the river. And conclude by saying hot day in England, perfect, and why. So here we read the content of the essay. A hot day is very rare and special thing in north of Ireland, England. It is almost magical, changing the landscape, the town, and the people. A hot day in England brings everyone outside to enjoy the warmth of the sun. The rays of the sun on your skin feel like a hug. At the same time, there is always a gentle, cool breeze, so you never get too hot and break into a sweat. In fact, a hot day in England is the perfect temperature. It's never too hot and never too cold. The English sun transforms the sky, turn it from the usual cloudy grey into bright light blue. There is not a single cloud, just endless sky and the sun sitting high. At the same time, crowds of people poured into town wearing t-shirts, shorts, and sunglasses, and they will wear every space. They fill every space, sunbathing in the town square, stretching out on the grassy banks of the river. They spill out onto the streets outside little cafes to enjoy every moment of the sun and the warmth. This quiet town is now filled with the sound of people chatting, noise, and bustle. Musicians line the street, and the sound of the guitar drifts down the town. By the river, the usual splashes from the rowing boats are accompanied by laughter, music, and chitter chatter from banks. A hot day is the perfect day in England. It is such change from the rain and cold that everyone has to get outside to enjoy it. A hot day in my country means the whole town comes alive. Now we have an essay, a descriptive essay, on describe a friend and say what makes him or her special. This is written by Sion. So first plan, introduce means state who I'm going to talk about. Eric, that means physical description of Eric, like long brown hair, denim jacket, then Eric's personality and some memorable incident with your friend. Also charismatic, upfront, kind and caring, fond of rockabilly music from the 50s, brought Stray's cat to school. Then conclusion, why was Eric special to me? Why Eric taught me, what Eric taught me, what I think he might be doing now. When will I visit him? So here is an essay. Eric is truly a special friend. I miss the time we spent together. I feel that my school days would have been really dull if I had not met him. I still remember his long brown hairs, his old denim jacket, his fair complexion and youthful smile. He always looked scruffy then. Whenever he came to my house to play PTV games, my mum would tell him to eat and exercise more. To my surprise, he seemed to be the type that was popular among girls. Every once in a while, he would receive a love letter from girls in our school. His popularity probably had something to do with his positive personality. While most of my friends found it old-fashioned, Eric was never shy about his fondness to 50s rockabilly or rockabilly music. He would sometimes talk like Elvis Presley, even when talking to the teachers. Sometimes he would bring stray cats to school simply because he felt sad about leaving them hungry and unattended. Maybe it was his gentleness that made him so popular. I still find it funny how many girls in the school had been given stray cats because of Eric. Unluckily for his admirers, he moved to Memphis when he turned 18. Hanging out with Eric helped me understand the importance of kindness and being true to yourself. I wonder how he's doing in Memphis now. He's probably drinking coke in a country bar, humming along to some Elvis Presley tunes. I think I should pay him a visit next year. Now, we are going to see 3 essays. And these essays, along with what is being written by various writers, we'll also see what teacher David has to say about their content. So what can you learn from them? See, first of all, do athletes make good role models? People of all ages look up to athletes as role model, but it is argued whether or not they are good role models or bad ones. I believe that athletes make good role models. For this argued, David has said this is not the right word. Do you mean arguable or debatable? So you can replace this word with arguable and debatable. Many athletes understand that they have a responsibility to represent something good. Athletes use their popularity to promote good events that raise awareness or money. They can include endorsing charity events or encouraging people to aid countries in need in incidents such as natural disasters or wars. Athletes have or also spread happiness such as by often visiting sick children in hospital, fulfilling with their wishes and making them feel better. In this paragraph, David has some comments like many athletes. Good topic to start with. So this is a very good starting. And then provide aid for she has to write provide people to aid countries. Provide aid for. Then for this content, in need in incident such as natural disasters or war. This is awkward. Maybe change it to countries which has suffered disasters and wars. And here, such as by often, for example, you can say, for example, coming to the third paragraph. However, some people may argue that athletes do not make good role models because they do drugs, smoke, and display a lot of inappropriate behavior. This is unsuitable for young children who are looking up to them because they play the same sport or are good at their sport. Children will not understand what is right and wrong and may copy inappropriate behavior in order to be like them. Here, first is that, however, good shows you are moving on to the opposite view. However, nevertheless, in my opinion, right? Then do drugs. This is what David has not accepted. Means this is slang. Do drugs is slang. You can use take drugs. Then are looking up, but that's the tense is not correct. Take drugs. Earlier we saw, and in this case we are looking up. Who are looking up? Means you have to change the tense. Like in conclusion, athletes do make good role models. Many of them strive to be perfect models, not only for sports players or children, but for everyone. It takes a lot of patience and motivation to become a professional athlete. Despite their external actions, athletes can still be excellent role model in terms of their determination, hard work, teamwork, and commitment. People can learn from their characteristic and learn not to give up when they mess up and to never give up on their dreams. In this part of the sentence, it takes a lot of patience and motivation. David has said you should not introduce new points into the conclusion. Right? Conclusion means what you have talked about, you are talking about that only. Don't introduce any other stuff. Then mess up. This is again too informal. Use face challenges. So what are the teacher comments? David, this is a nice essay. There is some good varied vocabulary and your grammar is generally accurate. Watch out for language that is too informal like do drugs and mess up. There is, however, a problem with the conclusion. You introduce your second forward point. Athletes make good role models because they work hard and don't give up. This should have a paragraph to itself. You would then have 5 paragraphs, 2 for and 1 against, and could use the conclusion to state your final position. Now, by Sion, the second essay, and also comments by David. Do we spend too much time on your mobile? Let us start. It is now more popular than ever to own a mobile phone, and there is no doubt that many people are spending more and more time using their mobile phones to do all sorts of things. However, we really should ask ourselves one important question. Do we spend too much time on our mobile phones? Here David has to say that you don't have to need this, you don't require, there is no doubt that many people. And you have to change this, however, this to them. And then in this, however, if this is a right word, where is the contrast? Perhaps the time has come to, perhaps the time has come to. So it is not the right word here, however, because however means you are putting a different opinion. For this you have to just write in contrast. You can use in contrast. Perhaps the time has come. Now, this one, some second paragraph, some has expressed that nowadays it is only natural to be dependent on mobile phones. Because of the technological advancement in recent years, people can now do almost everything with their phones, such as shopping, making a hotel reservation, looking up the weather forecast, or even studying an online course. And more importantly, people are now used to socializing with others via social networking apps that are easily accessible through their phones. By using these apps, individuals can now share with their friends whenever, wherever they want to. In short, the mobile phones is now considered by some an essential platform for socializing, or even as a key element of living the modern life. Now, what David has to say, and so, all right. From here, some people have expressed. Sounds strange. Some people think would be better. So some people express that. Some people think that. Here, in because, David says that don't start a sentence with because. sentence is too long, you need to rewrite it. So, you don't need long sentences. Try to, part them, make them short and expressive. And what David has to say, delete and. You can't start, or this is not a good idea to start with and. With the others, socializing with others or socializing with friends. For share, you can share whatever you want to, but not whenever or wherever you want to. You can rewrite the sentence. Then, an essential platform for socializing. This is quite nice. David liked it. And good use of vocabulary here. David says a very good use of library, and in short is also good. Now, on the other hand, many would agree that we indeed spend too much time on mobile phones, and this will do us more harm than good. One of the most frequently brought up concern is that people are losing the ability to socialize in person, as most people now prefer to talk to their friends, colleagues, and even family members through text messages. Some health experts have also raised their concern over prolonged usage or uses of mobile phones, as they believe that avid phones users are more prone to astigmatism and other types of eye problems. To conclude, whether or not we spend too much time on mobile phones is still debatable. On the topic involves understanding of different perspectives on how one should socialize, as well as to what extent we should facilitate a tool to make our lives easier. The debate will certainly continue to find its place in the years to come. So first, let us look at this one. On the other hand, they said it indicates a contrast, so good. On the other hand, in contrast, however, these are the words or phrases used for contrast. Indeed, for this, what David has to say is this is a difficult word to use correctly, right? Then one of the most frequently brought up concern, we can just replace it with a common concern. And in their concern, change to concerns. Raise concerns or uses. These are the grammar problem. You can use over prolonged usage of. Then the last conclusion, easier. Easier, David says, or first of all, the understanding, he says, uncountable or countable, right? This is, you have to see. And this one, the sentence start well, but you seem to get lost as you go on. This meaning is not clear on the sentence. And finally, continue to find its place. What does this mean? This is not the correct content you should use. Now, what David has to offer? This is a good essay. It is well planned and structured, and you make good points. It's a pity you don't come to a better conclusion. There is some very nice use of vocabulary. Your grammar is generally good, with just a few steps. So, let us now move to third and final essay by James. Smoking should be illegal. Do you agree? Smoking is dangerous to health and it should be made illegal. A smoker is not only injuring their own health but also the people around them. Passive smoking is a serious threat to public safety. If the air we breathe is filled with cigarette smoke due to nearby smoker, then we are inevitably passing or passive smoking, whether we want to do or not. To safeguard public health, we need to understand the dangers of smoking and the reasons why people smoke. Smoking is the act of inhaling the smoke of burnt paper and tobacco. This smoke will damage lungs. Over time, the exposure to smoke will decline the lungs' ability to filter our toxins present in the smoke and the air we breathe. This leads to respiratory infection, cold, flu, wheezing, and asthma attacks. Prolonged exposure will increase the risk of developing lung cancer. Continuous exposure to passive smoking can also develop the above symptoms. This puts smoking as a serious concern of public safety. So let us see what David has to say. First is injuring their own health, but also the people around. Does this belong to the introduction? It's a point, right? So you can just add it later. Here, whether we want to do or not means the same, or inevitably use one or the other. Then to safeguard means here, one word safeguard, whether we want to do or not, safeguard. Then this safeguard has to be made, say one. Finally, second paragraph, smoking is the act of. Is this relevant? Everyone knows what smoking is. If you do want to define it, the introduction is the best place here. Then will damage lungs. Will damage your lungs or the lungs. Over time, the exposure to smoke will decline. That will be reduced. Lungs. Possessive, the ability of the lungs, it should be the lungs ability. Then put smoking as, means smoking is a serious concern of public safety. Continuing with the content, tobacco has a chemical compound called nicotine, a central nervous system stimulant. Nicotine reaches the brain within mere seconds. The effect is a short-term burst of energy. When the energy drains, tiredness kicks in. During that period of being tired, the craving of more nicotine persuades to have more and a habit is developed. When a person tries to physically withdraw from prolonged smoking, cognitive functions get impaired and depression quickly follows. This can lead to death. Research says that smoking is the leading cause of preventable death. People smoke because they are having a bad time, stressed, or for pure fun. Either way, smoking is harmful. If smokers can understand the potent danger in their acts, they can save themselves and the lives of many others around them. Stay away from prolonged smoking. So, what David has to say? First is tobacco has a chemical compound called. This is relevant to the question you are answering. No, you don't require it actually. Then persuades so. So persuades who? Then we have can lead to death. Really? Yes. That can lead to death means possibility of death you can use. Death. I don't really see the point you are making in this paragraph. So the paragraph is not good. Then potent. Is this the right word? You can use potential. You can understand the danger, the potential dangers. Then stay away from prolonged smoking. This is the first time you have spoken directly to the reader. And why prolonged smoking? Why not just smoking? And David has to say that overall you write well, your grammar is accurate, and you have a good range of vocabulary. Be careful to use the right word, though. Perhaps you could make better use of dictionary. The real problem with this essay is the structure. Did you brainstorm and plan it? Right? So thank you so much. This was the content from Clarity English.